Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of Calvin's Technical Analysis Daily Videos. Today is Thursday, August 29th, 2013. I hope everyone is having a fine evening. Let's get right into the SPY. Beautiful little consolidation pattern now, right at this support area, which was my gap fill. It's actually holding a little bit longer than I suspected. I was anticipating at least hit this trend line, and that is, believe it or not, that's still your measure move. If you measure out from this pivot high to this current consolidation pattern to this high as an ABC, you still get the 160, 160-ish area as a target. And it's also the measure move off this higher pivot here as well. So I have two measure moves that actually take you in this 160, 160 area, and that coincides with that trend line. 618 Fibonacci retracement. This consolidation area right here. So that to me is going to be some solid support in the next few days. And if you look at the stochastics, we already kind of oversold. In oversold condition. So that's just another minor factor. Whenever the stochastic gets below this red line, it is starting to look oversold. So that's just another minor sign that this could be the area for a longer term bounce. Besides these little short-term bounces you're getting, these are just pretty much bearish consolidation or bearish flag patterns that are just playing out, and there's even might be another smaller one building here. But let's look into the other. Let's look into the more candle analysis here, based on a time count here. If you start to make a bearish, let me just draw this in and see what I'm talking about. See this down move, and if you continue to just bake sideways here, let me draw the chart a little bit this way, and perhaps into the next few days, see how. Remember I said how this 10-day moving average and 20-day moving average will keep this market in check. And sure enough, since I've said that, we've been making a series of lower highs. So you notice that, guys, every high we're making is lower, and we made another lower high. So if we make another attack, perhaps this gap fill, and it coincides with these lower highs, and you have this 20-day starting to slope down into a death cross. So let me extrapolate this 20-day moving average. As it begins to slope down, you could. This is how you find good chart setups, guys. Let me make it blue so you can kind of you can kind of see it better. So guys, so let's imagine this is your 20 as it begins to slope down, and then you have your 20 starting to flatten out. And if you get a time count, another few more days that bake sideways, nice little sideways base here off a down leg, and you make another lower high into this area here. Okay, so it pretty much is a gap fill here as well. So you see how you start lining up multiple resistance levels. That will be your spot for the short side. Okay, guys, and you play it short, nibble there. You take a little profit and let the rest run. See what kind of move you can get. But that's a very important resistance. Okay, as you're starting to get a lower high. And you just pretty much hold on to it and see if it breaks the trend line. If it breaks the trend line, you're going to get a nice little trade there and to the next support, which is pretty much a minor here, support here at the 160, and then more support where I believe, remember I told you guys I would go long at this 200-day moving average. It's starting to rise up through it now with this double bottom here. But that's just a little bit of analysis, trading ideas you can get. Just going off the daily chart on the SPY, but like I said, let's see if we continue to make a base here, and see if we start to float up into this moving average here with the gap fill, 50-day moving average, death cross perhaps. It could be a death cross building here as long as this continues to trade below. See, the longer you start trading below the 50, that's just starting to look more weak. Okay, guys, and that's going to be resistance on the way. We already confirmed below the 20-day moving average. We technically have not confirmed below the 50 yet, but it's going to add some more strength as resistance as this 20 starts to slope down. And once again, you are making lower highs, gap fill, and that does look like if you look at the higher time frames, you still are in a big uptrend, but you are riding this 20-day moving average now, so it is getting weaker. You still are overbought in the stochastic on a weekly chart, so on a bigger time frame that you are overbought still. Okay, even though on the daily chart, which is more intermediate, you are oversold. But that just could mean you need a nice little counter trend bounce on the intermediate time frame. But in the bigger time frame, look how much you are overbought into this, the higher band of this bigger trend line. Okay, guys. So we have to look at all time frames, guys. That's the way you trade it. Let's go look at the IWM quickly. And let's see what we got here. Pretty much the same deal. It's catching resistance at these moving averages. So, a moving average analysis is very important. See, this same pretty much comes into play with IWMs. The 20-day moving average is sloping down, and you can you're gonna see that it's gonna keep this market in check. See how this lower highs are being connected. If you connect this pivot high to this pivot high, your fourth hit will coincide with the 50-day moving average and 20-day moving average, which is this blue line right here. So let's see if see if that remains as resistance right now. My downside target, my measured move. I like to make our measured moves based on these waves here. Your next measured move is roughly 98. 92, which are 99, roughly $92, and which coincides with this 100-day moving average and this trend line. So if you connect these trend lines right here, these pivot lows here, and of course you have your bigger time frame trend line here, which I will go back and show you. But this is more the accelerated intermediate trend that we're making. But in a more macro sense, we are making a huge, kind of like the SPY, we're making a big channel. Not as clean as the SPY's channel. You could make a case, you could draw it out here, but you can go off the close of these candles as well, and it is lining up beautifully. So let's put that in as for now and see that holds, and we'll just go day by day. Let's go to the Qs. Quick analysis, guys. Just want to update you guys what I'm looking at. Qs is not as, it's more sloppy. Ever since we broke this pivot, we're just kind of making sloppy consolidation here. Not much, you went to a double top here, retest double top, and that was resistance. So this is a clear line that I'm comfortable leaving right here. Very evident, very clear that this is going to be double top resistance, and we're just consolidating in this range. And it is being, it is getting kept in check with this 20-day moving average. It's pretty much similar to, the SPY and the IWM. It's the 20-day moving average that it's continuing to consolidate. It's unable to recapture and hold the 20, so it is consolidating below this 20-day moving average. And you have the 50 there to keep it in check. And ultimately, this you want to see this double bottom here. See how it gapped up over here, and that's holding so far. So you want to see it hold this gap up, okay, with the 50-day moving average, which is this green line right here. Right now, you can make a case making a broadening pattern here, and those can break either way, but not a very clear pattern I like to trade. Pretty much sloppy and messy pattern out of Qs. That's why I'm pretty much going off my SPY analysis for this market and to see where we're headed. Let's go to some of these major stocks. Apple Computer, I believe it's now called Apple Inc. But it caught resistance. Support at the 20-day moving average, which I said that would be minor support. And you're just consolidating on it right now. But it's still early to tell. It could break either way. But you gotta really wait for this to play out and make a clear pattern. Right now, you don't really have one. But sure enough, I said that when it made this base that you could wait for a pullback into this moving average, and sure enough, that's what had happened. And right now we're getting a little bounce now, but it's really stuck between the 10-day moving average and the 20-day moving average, and the 10-day moving average, which is the yellow line, and the 20-day moving average, kind of stuck in between those at the moment. Not much going there. Let's look at Google. Google did find that double bottom support, and it did hold there. So that's why I like selling premium. As long as you can identify support and resistance, very strong support and resistance, and it's all about finding support and resistance, right? But it's all about finding the major support and the minor supports, how long they will hold for, and that's all trading is about. See, this is on a daily chart, so you do anticipate they will hold at least for a day. That's how I kind of figure support will at least pause for a day at major support and resistance. That's why I always can sell premium on the option side and make money, because I know how long these levels will hold at the minimum. So they called out this double bottom here, and sure enough, it has held for 2 days. So you could have collected premium there if you sold puts below these major supports here. But Google is still holding this range here, not making much out of this right now. 150-day moving average, and this is still an uptrend, still rising moving averages, and it is a nice test of this double bottom, and it is the previous high. So this is gonna be a very important area. These two lines here on Google, if I draw that in, it's roughly in the band of 848 and 841. Okay, so roughly in that general vicinity, you are finding support, and sure enough, price action is proving that. Let's look at anything else. Tesla, not much to do on Tesla. Just go over really quickly. Tesla is just parabolic still. I really think it's just headed for that $200 level. That's your first psychological number that you can find resistance, because right now there's no, it's in uncharted territory. You really have to start looking at these even numbers, like the $200 level. Already busted the 150 level. So your $200 level is your next psychological number, just to base off the even number. Well, one thing I do want to say that on the weekly chart, we could be closing at a doji, so we have to see tomorrow where that closes. So doji will definitely keep us in check. If you get a doji tomorrow, on a weekly close. So tomorrow's close, Friday we'll print a weekly candle, and the volume is decent here. So let's see if it, if it closes with a doji candle tomorrow, and we'll just keep an eye on that and see how it goes from there. But that's Tesla. Not much, just riding that channel. Not much to trade off here. Obviously these are, it's been support, and really just gonna have to just go day by day. Right now, just riding beautifully right now. Nothing wrong with actually Tesla right now. And obviously it's had a nice run, but no clear sign right now to short it. Just going with the trend at the moment is the right call. Let's look at what do I want to take a look at? eBay. I believe one of my subscribers asked for eBay. I did some analysis on eBay. eBay is actually a very, very intriguing chart. I mean, if we go on a bigger time frame, let's go on a weekly chart. eBay's actually just had a crazy drop into 2009 low, and then just retraced pretty much all the way back to the 52-week highs. If you go to a monthly chart, you can see it very clearly that all it did was just retrace back to a double top. Now it's just consolidating beautifully. It's actually, if you look at a bigger time frame, all it has is just making a nice little high base. It didn't even make a 25% retracement, so this is pretty strong at the moment. If you look at the bigger time frame, look at this nice consolidation period for over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. Whoa, that's a very very clear tight little range. If you look at a bigger time frame, that's not very big. $7, $6 range in the last 7, 9 months. That's a pretty decent pattern. See how it reached there, and now it's just consolidating this resistance. And you know how charts are so symmetric. It took if you look on a more bigger time frame as well, the monthly chart, you see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It took 5 months. 1, 2, 3, 4 months for it to correct, and it took 1, 2, 3, 4 months to get all the way back up there. See how markets or stocks are very symmetric. That's really, so it took 4 months to pretty much drop, and then 4 months back retrace all the way back. I'm sorry, yeah, 4 years. Sorry, 4 years to retrace all the way back up. This is a monthly chart, but if you break it down by year, it took 4 years to retrace all the way back up to its high. So it is a beautiful double top on this chart. Look at this. Draw it. If you draw it in right here, pretty much a beautiful double top on eBay right at the moment. So you just got to keep an eye on that. And if it does continue to consolidate in this upper range, it has potential. Just look out for this previous 52-week high and see if you can bust that out. It's going to take some strength, but it's definitely possible. You have consolidated very long on the bigger time frame. Let's go back to the weekly chart and see it once again. You can see on the weekly chart as well. On the weekly chart, that's on the bullish side. If you are bullish on eBay, it is making a nice base, but when it has a big run up like this, you can't anticipate a pullback, and you still have support. The other side, you could look that it does want to consolidate, and perhaps it could pull back with this triple top here. So on a more smaller time frame, you are making a triple top within a bigger bullish consolidation pattern. So it already broke this accelerated trend line. See this accelerated trend line here? Whenever you break a trend line like that, I'll make it in red so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. You broke that trend line. Whenever you break an upsloping trend line like this, see this red line? It broke it. Now it wants to consolidate. That just confirms it. So that means it wants to go sideways for longer or pull back deeper. Okay. So it's consolidating through time. Let's see if it wants to consolidate through price and pull back. Let's look at a daily time frame now. You can see it even more smaller time frame. A daily chart. Daily chart. You are oversold on the stochastic. That's just one little factor though. You did close back above this neckline. It could be potentially be a head and shoulder pattern, guys, believe it or not, or triple top. Either way you want to categorize it. So it did catch support at this red line. So we just see if it breaks here and confirms to the downside. Right now you did get a fake out because it looked like, let's see, we ever closed. Now we never close. See, notice we never close below the red line. Okay, that's your neckline. That's going to be your make or break. And sure enough, it's right at like around $50. So it looks like it caught at $50, right around the $50 area, which is another psychological even number. So that's going to be support. So that adds more support at $50 with this red trend line. Now let's see if we can get a break of that. That's your bearish sign, and then obviously your bullish sign will be a break above, these 52-week highs of around $58, and I believe as much as 58.84. This is a big range right here in the more daily chart sense. So right now you're lower band of that. So you could play the ranges, but right now it has been hitting it multiple times. The more times you hit a support, it dictates the actual breakdown. So the breakdown does take you roughly to $42 to $40 with this gap fill. It's very tough because you don't know where these. When you have a upsloping trend line, it's very difficult to see where it breaks. I mean you don't have technically a breakdown to it actually breaks. So this could be another line here. If it does make another bounce here, that could be another trend line breakdown, and you can measure it down over here. So it depends where it breaks. So you don't really know. You can't really draw an accurate target, a minimum target yet, but But sure enough, it is generally in the vicinity. And sure enough, where does this gap fill take you? Okay, this is very also intriguing. Let's go back to another bigger time frame so I can zoom back out. Where does that minimum target take you? It takes you to this pivot high. So you see how previous resistance now will be support. And notice how it consolidated this level for many weeks here. So you know this is going to be congestion. This is your area. If it does break, that's your longer term support right here. This general say 42 to 42 bucks to 40 bucks. That's your area. And guess what? It's also a 382 retrace. Okay, so even if it did decide to pull back to a 382 retrace and bounce, that's still a very strong uptrend, okay, because you know you barely retraced 382 retracement. That's still very strong. Now I would suspect that would hold after it is uptrending beautifully on the bigger time frames. But guess what? On a daily time frame, look at this time frame. Look at your daily time frame. Look at these moving averages. This is more of a moving average analysis. I know you see a lot of moving averages, guys, but notice you have spacing here, right? You see all the moving averages are spaced apart, going upwards, and now look at now. It's just trending neutral. Okay, moving averages are no longer spacing apart, rising. They're now crossing over, death cross. Now it's getting more sloppy. So you could definitely suspect that this could break down. But you know, on the bigger time frame, yeah, it's fine. I mean, you're still uptrending beautifully on these. Actually, even the weekly chart, you're starting to see these moving averages starting to look at this. You might even start to get a death cross here. See that? That's very interesting. So this could be a sign that the stock wants to take a break, take a bigger breather, and pull back. But in the longer term, it does have an uptrend. Okay, and let's look at the monthly chart. Once again, monthly chart, you still have a nice solid uptrend. Nothing wrong there. But that is eBay really fast. I just want to give you try to give you a nice thorough analysis on eBay. But that is a chart right now. Let's see if this. Let's look at these levels. Let's see if they break. See if way wants to break. Right now, it is in a bigger, or you just kind of just range right now, pretty much. It could be a triple top, or it could be a head and shoulder pattern. As long as it stays below these moving averages, I do kind of have a neutral negative bias in the more intermediate term. In the bigger macro term, yes, it does. It is making a bullish consolidation pattern because it is going sideways. But sure enough, it easily can break this. Okay, after a big run up already. So let's see how it plays out. I think right now you're at a critical spot, so you could definitely keep an eye on this spot if it wants to bounce here, and perhaps you could attack. Let's grab a fib. Obviously it's been in this range, so this you pretty much know where your upside target is. But sure enough, you are in this range, and then 618. You have the 382 retrace here. I think it will be kept in check right here with these moving averages. These major moving averages are the 250 and the 20. They're all kind of in this vicinity, and they're not rising anymore. See how they're kind of just chopping sideways? So you do have a neutral range on the daily chart. But in the bigger time frame, you have uptrend. Okay, guys. That's eBay. Just want to go a little bit thorough there. Going 17 minutes on a chart. Let's go to Amazon very quickly before I take off. On this fine Thursday evening, Amazon did catch this 150-day moving average, kind of with the markets and getting bouncer here. But ultimately, you guys know my spot. 200-day moving average is my long area. Probably not long for me because since it's such an extended chart, I will be selling premium bull put spreads below this area if it does hit a 200-day moving average. Okay, guys. Sorry, guys. Been talking kind of quick. I just wanted to get this video out as soon as I possibly could. It's 18 minutes on the video. It's a Thursday evening. Hope you guys have a great one. Let's see how it trades out tomorrow and finish the week. I had a beautiful week. I hope you guys had the same thing. I will talk to you guys next time. Have a great one.